Hey photographer, welcome to the Financially Focused Photographer. I'm your host, Tiffany Bastian, accountant and tax pro for photographers who's obsessed with helping you keep more of what you make. Let's be real, you didn't become a photographer to spend hours deciphering tax code or tracking expenses, but here's the truth. Mastering your money is what turns your passion into profit. Each week, we'll skip the Google rabbit hole and get right to the answers you actually need. We'll also explore your relationship with money and how it might be holding your business back. From solopreneurs just booking their first clients to established studios hitting major revenue milestones, my mission is simple: to help you understand the numbers game so you can build real wealth doing what you love. So hit subscribe, tune in each week, and let's get financially focused. Hey there, and welcome to the very first episode of the Financially Focused Photographer. I'm Tiffany Bastian, and I'm beyond excited to be launching this podcast with you today. Before we dive into all of the tactical stuff like the bookkeeping strategies, tax planning, business structures, and what you can and cannot deduct, I want to start with something that, honestly, it's at the foundation of everything that you do as a photographer, and that's money mindset. Look, we can get caught up in doing all of the things, checking all the boxes, booking the clients, and making ends meet. But how often do we actually stop and ask ourselves, what is it all for? That's what we're going to explore here today together. I've been thinking a lot about why so many talented photographers struggle financially. It's not always about strategy or tactics. Those are important, sure, but there's something deeper going on. After several years of working with photographers, I've started to notice a pattern. There's so many hustling 24/7, doing all the right things according to every business guru out there, but they're still struggling. And it wasn't until they took a hard look at their relationship with money, the stories they were telling themselves, the fears they're harboring, that things started to finally shift. That's why I decided our very first episode had to focus on money mindset. Because here's the truth. You can have the perfect bookkeeping system and the most optimized tax strategy and the ideal business structure, but if your underlying beliefs about money are working against you, you'll never reach your full potential as a photography business owner. So we're going to start with a quick exercise. Grab a piece of paper, or if you're driving or walking, just take a minute to think about these questions. I'm going to have you complete these sentences. Money is blank. People with money are blank. As a creative, my relationship with money should be blank. Charging high prices for my photography makes me feel blank. When a client questions my rates, I blank. Your answers reveal a lot about your underlying beliefs. Many photographers I work with discover that they're carrying money stories that aren't serving them. Maybe you grew up hearing money doesn't grow on trees, or artists are supposed to struggle. Perhaps you believe that focusing on profits somehow compromises your creative integrity. These beliefs aren't random. They come from our upbringing, our experiences, and the culture around us. The photography industry itself has some problematic narratives about money, like the idea that you should do it for exposure, or being passionate about your art means you shouldn't care about compensation. The first step to transforming your money belief is simply becoming aware of these beliefs. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Wealth is personal. Here's something that took me way too long to figure out, both for myself and for photographers that I work with. Wealth looks different for everyone. We're bombarded with images of what success looks like for photographers, and fancy studio spaces, high-end gear, exotic destination weddings, or being featured in prestigious publications. But here's the truth. Your version of wealth might look completely different. For some of you, wealth might mean having enough passive income to shoot just 3 days a week so you can spend more time with your kids. For others, it might mean having the freedom to travel 6 months out of the year with your camera, and for others, it might mean building a photography business that makes a massive impact in your community. There's no one-size-fits-all definition of wealth, and until you get clear on what wealth actually means for you, you'll be chasing someone else's dream. So I want you to take a moment right now, wherever you are, driving, at the gym, editing photos, and ask yourself, what does wealth truly mean to me? Now, I always say that your photography business is like a financial river that leads to the financial ocean of your life. They're not separate entities, they're deeply connected. Think about it. Your photography business doesn't exist in isolation. It provides for your life. The decisions you make in your business directly impact your personal financial situation. So many photographers I work with treat their business finances and personal finances as completely separate things. They'll pinch pennies in their personal life while making emotional, unstrategic spending decisions in their business, like buying that new lens that won't actually increase their bookings. Or they'll focus obsessively on booking more clients without considering how that growth translates to their actual quality of life. But here's the reality: that river needs to flow properly for the ocean to be healthy. If your photography business is consistently draining you, financially, emotionally, or creatively, then something is off. Your business should be serving your life goals, not the other way around. So let's talk about some common money blocks for photographers. Let's take these specific blocks I see most often in my photography clients. The starving artist mentality. Many photographers subconsciously believe that financially struggling is part of the creative journey. You might think that real artists prioritize their craft over commercial success, or that suffering somehow makes your work more authentic. But here's the truth. Financial stability gives you the freedom to create on your own terms. When you're not constantly worried about paying bills, you can take creative risks, invest in education, and choose projects that align with your vision. There's the imposter complex. This is the voice that says, "Who am I to charge that much?" It's the belief that you need another certification, better equipment, or more experience before you can command professional rates. Remember, your prices reflect not just your technical skill, but the entire experience you create, the problems you solve, and the transformation you provide for clients. That unique vision and approach is valuable right now, not just in some future version of your business. Limiting beliefs about money. Did you grow up hearing phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees"? "Rich people are greedy." "You have to work hard for money." "We can't afford that." These seemingly innocent phrases become deeply rooted beliefs that affect how you approach earning, pricing, investing, and growing your photography business. Successful photographers think differently. They see money as abundant rather than scarce. They see problems as opportunities. They take calculated risks rather than playing it safe all the time. I remember when one portrait photographer I worked with shifted from thinking, "I can't afford that marketing investment," to "How can I make this investment work for me?" It completely changed her approach at growing her business, and within 6 months, she had doubled her bookings. So how do you transform your money mindset? This is the practical part. How do we actually shift these deeply held beliefs? Well, we need to pay attention to your money language. Notice when you say things like, "I can't afford that," or "That's too expensive." Try to replace these things with things like, "That's not a priority right now," or "How could I make this work?" The words you use both reflect and reinforce your money mindset. For photographers, this might sound like shifting from, "No one in my area will pay these prices," to, "I need to find the clients who value my work at its true worth." Then we need to separate facts from stories. So get clear on your actual financial situation. What are the numbers telling you? This might mean reviewing your profit and loss statement, calculating your true cost of doing business, or analyzing which photography services are most profitable. Then notice the stories you're telling yourself about those numbers. "I only made blank last year" is a fact, but "I'm a failure because I only made blank last year" is a story. You see the difference there? Then you want to track your money. You can't change what you don't measure. We all have heard this time and time again in so many aspects of life, and it's so true with your finances. When you start tracking both your business and personal finances, you start seeing patterns and opportunities. For photographers, this might reveal that your mini sessions are actually more profitable than your full sessions, or that your print sales are much higher with certain types of clients. We all know the 5 people you spend the most time with heavily influence your thinking. If everyone around you is constantly complaining about cheap clients, guess what happens to your mindset? Seek out photographers who have healthy relationships with their money. Join communities where business success is celebrated alongside creative excellence. Follow educators who talk transparently about both the art and the business of photography. Next, consciously choose new beliefs. Once you've identified limiting beliefs, you can intentionally replace them with empowering alternatives. Instead of "Talking about money is uncomfortable," try "Clear financial communication creates trust with my clients." Instead of "I should be grateful for any paying work," try "I attract clients who value my unique artistic perspective." Instead of "I'm terrible with money," try "I'm learning and improving my financial skills every day." Celebrate financial wins. Acknowledge progress, no matter how small. Did you just book a client at your new rate? Celebrate. Did you finally set up a business savings account? Celebrate. Acknowledging these wins reinforces the positive neural pathways in your brain and builds momentum. Now, let's talk about aligning your business with your life goals. Remember that river flowing into the ocean? You need to make sure the flow is going in the right direction. Ask yourself, how much do I actually need to earn personally from my photography business? What lifestyle do I want my business to support? What business model will best support those goals? Am I pricing my photography services in a way that supports my personal financial needs? Sometimes we set arbitrary business goals, like hitting 6 figures or being published in a certain magazine without considering what we actually need. Or we choose business models that don't align with our ideal lifestyle. I had a client who was killing herself to build a high-volume wedding photography business when what she really wanted was more freedom and less stress. When we restructured to a simpler model with higher prices, fewer weddings, she actually made more money while shooting less. Her river was finally flowing properly into her ocean. And finally, let's talk about the ripple effects of a healthy money mindset. When you transform your relationship with money, everything in your photography business changes. Your client experience improves. When you're not anxious about money, you can fully be present with your clients. You communicate more confidently about investments. You attract clients who respect your boundaries and appreciate your value. You become more intentional. Instead of saying yes to every opportunity out of financial fear, you can choose projects that energize and inspire you. You can invest in equipment that truly enhances your work, not just what's on sale. Your business becomes more sustainable. You build financial reserves that carry you through slow seasons. You price for profit, not just survival. You create systems that support your well-being alongside your business growth. The compounding effect takes hold. Small changes in thinking lead to small changes in action, which over time lead to massive changes in results. I always say, little by little, a little becomes a lot. Just like compound interest grows your money exponentially over time, compound mindset shifts grow your possibilities exponentially over time. The photographer you'll be 5 years from now is a direct result of the mindset shifts you make today. This isn't just about making more money. It's about creating a business that supports the life and creative practice that you want. Okay, so I have a little bit of homework for you now that we've talked through all of this. I want you to create a money win journal each day for the next week. Write down one positive interaction with money in your photography business. This could be setting a boundary around your pricing, receiving payments from a client who expressed genuine appreciation, making a small financial decision, no matter how small, noticing and redirecting a negative money thought. The purpose is to start training your brain to notice evidence that supports a healthy money mindset. We tend to fixate on financial challenges while overlooking the positive aspects of our relationship with money. This simple practice creates a record of your money wins that you can review whenever scarcity thoughts start to creep in. It's a powerful reminder that you're already building a new financial reality. Okay, so I grabbed a question out of my free Facebook community, Financially Focused Photographers. Shameless plug, join us over there for free. If you have a minute, jump on Facebook, search Financially Focused Photographers, and you'll find us. I've grabbed this question because it really does hit home with the money mindset topic we're covering today. This question says, every time I think about sending out a price increase announcement, I feel physically sick. How do I get past this fear? This is such a common concern. That physical reaction you're describing is your nervous system responding to perceived threat. Your brain is essentially treating a price increase like a life or death situation. Here's a strategy that might help. Instead of focusing on what you might lose, get specific about what raising your prices will enable. Will it mean you can invest in better client experiences? Take fewer clients and give each one more attention? Finally, pay yourself a consistent salary? Connect your price increase to the value it creates, not just for you, but your clients. When you truly believe the increase serves everyone, announcing it becomes an act of integrity rather than a source of fear. Try drafting your announcement from this mindset. Focus on the enhanced experience clients will receive at your new investment level. And remember, some client turnover with price increases is normal and actually creates space for ideal clients who value your work and its true worth. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Your photography business is meant to be a vehicle for the life you want to create, not the other way around. Get clear on what wealth means for you. Examine your beliefs about money. Make conscious decisions about how your business river flows into your life ocean. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a photographer friend who might need to hear this message. Until next time, I'm Tiffany Bastian, reminding you that a profitable business and creative fulfillment can absolutely coexist. Now go take some focused action.